Hello, I'm Ronnie Benedetta.
And I'm Brandi Tobias. Welcome to West Coast Swing, Basics and Beyond. In this DVD, we're going to talk about technique, how to move through your West Coast swing, as well as some nice variations of the basics that you can use in your social dancing. So hang with us. We'll get started with our first section here in a moment. Welcome back. Here we're going to start with some technical drills to really get you moving on your West Coast swing. The great thing about West Coast swing is there's basically only two elements. There's walks and there's triple steps, and those make up all of your basic patterns. So what I'm going to show you today is how to practice the elements within the basics on their own, so when you add them to your basics, you're ready to go. First thing we're going to talk about is the use of your feet and legs in your walks. When you're walking forward, and by the way, this is for both ladies and gentlemen, the technique is the same for both partners, both the lead and the follow. Starting with walks, as we use our feet, we want to roll the foot both off of and onto the floor. So a mental picture that I like to give my students is I say, imagine that I Velcroed your shoe to the floor. As you went to take a step, the first thing you would have to do is bend the knee to start peeling the foot up off of the floor from the heel. It's very important that every time you bend the knee that you don't leave the heel on the floor, or it's going to force you to sink into your hip. So you're going to bend that knee, peeling that heel up. The knee bends straight forward. What happens to a lot of people is they practice their knee action. They tend to lift their knees up. It creates a bit of a prancing type movement, and you want to avoid that. So if you watch as I bend my knee, it bends straight forward, maintaining the same line in the room, as opposed to pulling up. So we're going to practice a forward walk. I'm going to bend my knee straight forward, peeling the foot up from the floor from the heel. My body weight is shifting forward, so by the time I release the foot, I'm in motion and I push out of that back foot onto two straight legs. From here, I'm going to bend that back knee, pull it straight through, extend to a straight leg, and push out of the back foot. You will frequently hear people talk about whether you should step forward on a heel versus a toe. I always like to step forward on a toe because I want to see full extension of the ankle as you take a step. However, if you choose to slip to a heel at the last moment by releasing the toe, that is not considered incorrect. But I'd like for you to practice landing on the toe to work on the articulation of that ankle. So I'm going to do these walks coming straight forward. You're going to notice that I bend the knee, I release the foot from the floor, I extend the leg and push over two straight legs. My walks are done on whole beats of music. For example, your 1, 2 of every basic pattern. So ladies, this would be your 1. Knee bends, weight shifts, I extend and push onto two straight legs. We're going to talk about weight transfers in West Coast swing. There's a term that we use in dancing called rate of weight transfer. What that means is how quickly does my weight get to my foot upon the strike of the floor. So my foot hits the floor on the beat of music. Let's take beat 1, for example. In some styles of dance, your weight arrives right when your foot hits the floor. However, in West Coast swing, our rate of weight transfer is a little bit slower. We want to occupy the time from one beat to the next with continuous movement over and past the foot. So for example, if I'm practicing my walks and I arrive at the foot too early, 1, now I'm stuck waiting for beat 2. That's often going to cause me to be a little bit early, and the foot's going to be in the air and I'm almost going to fall on my 2 a little bit too quickly. So what I want to do is delay that weight transfer just a bit. I start transferring my weight. When the foot hits the floor, I'm split weight. I spend the rest of that beat of music pushing myself over that foot and preparing to step on beat 2, preparing for beat 3, and so forth. When we practice our backward walks, both the ladies and the gentlemen should practice both forward and backward walks, but ladies, that forward walk is your 1, 2 of every basic pattern. Gentlemen, a backward walk is your 1 of every basic pattern, so it's worth spending some time on. Gentlemen, when you step backward, even though I'm moving backward, my knee still bends forward to release the foot. So every step essentially starts the same. As I go to take that backward step, I'm going to bend the knee straight forward, releasing the foot from the floor. I'm going to move the toe back, and roll my weight from the toe all the way down to the heel, and you want to feel your foot open up on the floor. I don't want to watch you land ball flat. You're going to end up a little bit heavy on that heel. It's going to cause you to pull your lady over just a bit, as well as being off balance yourself. So I bend the knee forward to move the toe back, roll down to the heel. Once I'm ready to take my 2, I'm going to bend that knee forward to release the foot, move the toe, roll down all the way to the heel, landing on a bent knee, rolling to 2 straight legs. The number one mistake people make is they don't let their whole beat last long enough, so it causes the appearance of being ahead of the movement. An example of this, gentlemen, is if I place my 1, and as I'm rolling onto my 1, I pop that right knee, it's going to cause me to be a little bit ahead of the beat. So I want to roll all the way to 2 straight legs before I release that right knee for my second step. So those are what I want you working on. Those drills are for your forward and your backward walks. The next element that we want to work on in West Coast Swing is our triple step. And I consider that triple step to be the heartbeat of West Coast Swing. That's where you find that nice rhythm that you see out of the great dancers. Your triple step, to practice it, all I want you to do is to stand in place, and you're going to dance 1 and 2, stepping slightly to the side, 3 and 4. The rhythm that I'm counting is a triple step rhythm. It's a half-half whole. So we're taking 1, we're cutting it into 2 parts, 2 half beats, and 1 whole beat. The rhythmic value of the whole beat is so important, so we're going to talk about that weight transfer here in a moment. But your drill that you're going to practice is 1 and 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to turn around so you can see that from the back. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Pretty much everything you need to know about a triple step you already learned in your walks. Remember, every step starts the same regardless of where the foot is being placed. The knee bends forward to release the foot from the floor, even if the foot isn't going anywhere. The number one mistake I see in triple steps is people basically place their feet flat on the floor and they're marking time, but I don't see any action out of the knee, the ankle, or the foot. So you're going to bend that knee forward to replace. 1, bend that left knee forward, and you're going to place your foot on 2. The knee is bent. I'm going to use that whole beat of music to gradually transfer my weight as I lower the heel to the floor and straighten the knee. So again, I conclude that whole beat with 2 straight legs, just like I did on my walks. Now from here, I bend the knee forward, draw the foot underneath me to dance 3, and I place the 4, and I roll onto it, occupying that whole beat of music. Remember, our weight transfers are delayed, especially in those whole beats. I often relate it to driving a stick shift. That exchange of pressure between the gas and the clutch is a really good analogy for how these weight transfers are occurring. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the action of my feet and my knees. I'm dancing, knee comes forward, 1 and 2, roll to 2 straight legs, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Let's go ahead and take a look at that from the back. We have 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Your West Coast swing should be a very smooth dance. I shouldn't see the impact of your foot hitting the floor. So that's where the rolling of the foot comes into play. Your foot's your shock absorber. So you'll notice that I roll pushing the heel down toward the floor. I'm never applying pressure up, away from the floor. So these shoes are really pretty, aren't they? I'm going to place the foot and roll down on every single step with absolutely no exception. In West Coast Swing, we're going to show you your basic patterns later, but I want you to really keep in mind that it's not so much about where your foot goes, but rather how it goes. And I want to see good quality to each and every step. That's going to be key. So ladies, your 1, 2, weight shifts forward, knee bends, here's your forward walk. 1, 2, your backward walk. Bend that knee forward and walk back. 1, 2. You should be practicing just those exercises up and down the floor. And then I recommend you get in front of a mirror, turn on a nice slow song, and practice the action of your triple step. I relate movement to fashion. You want to find what looks good on you, and you want to find what feels good on you, and it has to be suitable to your body, your style, and I want your movement to feel really good on you. It's less about just how it feels to your partner, but I want my dancing to feel good as I'm moving through it. So practice these triple steps until they just become automatic and you're happy with how they look in the mirror, you're happy with how they feel, and you're happy with how they relate to the music. Let's talk about the music for just one moment. The rhythmic accent in swing music, all styles of swing music, including West Coast swing, is on the 2, 4, 6, 8. You'll notice in all of our basic patterns, our 2, 4, 6, 8 are always whole beats of music, and that's where that accent lies. So you're going to feel that in your triple step. And I want you to listen to the music as you're dancing this, and don't think numbers. Feel that tick to the music, and you're going to think 1 and there's an accent, 1 and there's an accent. Swing music is done in 2-beat increments, as is all of our patterns. So try to take that triple step, relate it to the music, and then when we put it into your basic patterns, which we're going to do in the next section, it's all going to feel great. So lots of practice on that. We'll be back with Ronnie in just a moment to show you the men's and ladies' part of your basic patterns in West Coast swing.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed yourselves in the first section with Brandi. Right now we're going to talk a little bit about some connection concepts.
All right, gentlemen, when you offer your hand, I want you to think of your 2 middle fingers are your primary connection fingers, as is the same for the ladies. So we want to have a relatively deep connection, and gentlemen, you're going to hold your hand palm in. Your primary concern is making sure that the lady's hand stays facing down towards the floor.
And gentlemen, in using this connection, what I do is I use these pads of my fingers rather than those. I break at the second knuckle to allow a nice deep connection. I take my index finger and allow it to roll right around the outside of her hand. I take my thumb, I place it down lightly on top of her, but no pressing. Make sure that you don't get in the habit of leading with that thumb there. I just place it on her nice and softly so that I don't stick it up in the air and break it.
We use 2 types of connection in West Coast swing. We use what we call leverage and compression. Leverage is where I'm moving away from my partner, so there's a pull in the hand. Compression is where I'm moving toward my partner, so there's pressure into the hand. Those 2 connections are created by the movement of the dance, not by me leaning away or leaning in toward. My posturing is going to stay the same regardless of where I'm going, and that's a really key point, is we don't tip the body in order to create the connection. The connection requires very little muscle. It requires about the same amount of muscle as it would require for me to hold my arm up in the air. Not much at all. So you want to avoid pulling or pushing against your partner in any way. I tell my students that this is the difference in resistance versus opposition. When I'm moving away from Ronnie, there comes a moment where I resist any further outward movement of my arm. So that's what stops me and keeps that leverage into the hand. It's not that I am pulling against him, which would be opposition. So it's a flexible, relaxed connection, but there is a fair bit of weight into the hand at the end of the track.
You bet. And gentlemen, making sure that you never get too far extended in your arm, or it makes it a little bit tougher for that concept to work. I dance a little bit flexed in the arm, so when she goes all the way out, I still have a little bit of arm left. Same as I'm coming in, again for connection and compression or leverage as well.
So let's talk for just one moment. West Coast swing is a slotted dance. So you're going to hear us refer to a track. And I want you to literally think about a railroad track. Ladies, we're moving up and down the track on that same line at all times. Gentlemen, you're going to be working across the track, basically directing her where to go. Now we're going to move into your basic patterns, and we're going to go ahead and show you the 7 basics that you're going to be looking at. First, we have a sugar push. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, an underarm pass. 1, 2, 3, and 4, a left side pass. 1, 2, 3, and 4, a side tuck.
Offer that hand up.
2, 3, and 4. A basket whip. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, and a basic whip. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And once we get through those, we're going to show you our 4-count closed basic, which is how you'll begin every dance. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. So let's get started. Let's move right into our sugar push. What we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate the men's and the ladies' footwork separately, and we're going to go ahead and show you how that looks together. Ronnie will go ahead and start with the gentleman's footwork.
You bet. So gentlemen, in your sugar push, it's a 6-count pattern. I start with my left foot first, always on 1. I'm going to release that foot from the floor. I step back and engage the connection, pulling the ladies with us for 1. Step back for 2, triple in place for 3, and step slightly forward on 4, finish with an anchor for 5 and 6. Let me do that forward for you really quickly. I'm stepping forward, or I'm facing you forward, I'm stepping straight back. 1, 2, 3, replace, 4, anchor, 5 and 6. Ladies are coming in, closing up that distance with us, gentlemen. 1, 2, they're in 3, and release them back on 4. Anchor, 5 and 6. Ladies, your turn.
All right, ladies, we already know how to do our walks and our triple steps. We covered that, so now we're just putting them together to create a pattern. I always start forward on my right foot, so remember we bend that knee forward, peeling that heel up off the floor, 2 straight legs on 1. I'm going to step straight forward on 2. Right here I'm going to triple in place, 3, and I'm going to back away from my partner on beat 4. From here I'm going to dance what we call an anchor step, the conclusion of the pattern, in place, 5 and 6, finishing with 2 straight legs. This is the trickiest part for the ladies, and this is going to apply to all of our patterns. Finish that 6 with 2 straight legs. My knee does not bend for 1 until he leads me forward. I'm waiting for the lead, and then that knee bends, and I dance forward 1, forward 2, triple 3, and back on 4, 5, and 6. As a follow, one thing that's very important to remember is I follow my basic patterns. What I'm showing you right now is basically a roadmap of the basic patterns. This is how I would practice them by myself. When I'm actually dancing with a partner, I will move more or less depending on how he leads me. I'll back up sooner or later depending on how he leads me. So ladies, it's very important that you don't attach yourself too much to these foot positions and that you learn the concept of the basics and you truly follow. Ronnie's going to come back out here and join me, and we'll show you how this looks together.
So gentlemen, leading that sugar push, we're going to step back and get her onto 1. 1, 2, triple, 3 and 4, sending her away. Anchor, 5 and 6. Again, working on that connection. Remember, never too far extended. Don't want to get to the extension of that arm. Make sure that there's a little bit of flex in that arm.
You'll notice that as I come in for the compression, Ronnie offers me his right hand in exactly the same position as the left. You don't want to do palms up, high five kind of action here. You go ahead and you ask for that hand. She's going to compress into you, and then you're going to move away.
You bet.
Ladies, our anchor step is technically, according to the old book, is anchor in place. And that's really good in theory, and you need to understand that your anchor step doesn't travel. Your last step of movement is beat 4. However, my anchor step will continue to creep slightly away from him so I continue developing my connection to its ideal point. So I want you to watch that for just a moment. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm looking for my connection, backing up as necessary. If I'm already at my connection, I would go ahead and anchor in place.
Gentlemen, on that 3 and 4, don't be afraid to move your elbows just a little bit. 1, 2, absorb that connection and send her right back. If I cut her off too early, we stop with compression. She doesn't come in and move back out fluidly.
So a good mental picture for a sugar push for you guys is, remember when you were a kid and you'd play with a little paddle ball, and it's the paddle and the elastic and the little rubber ball? That's a great, you really should. That's a great mental picture for a sugar push. The man's the paddle, the lady is the ball, and this is our elastic. So I'm basically moving into him. He bonks me on the head and sends me backward, and I continue moving away from him, and you'll notice that there is a moment where we're moving in opposite directions as that elastic engages, bringing me forward once again. So that's a good mental picture for you to go ahead and put in your head, and that connection at the end of the track is going to remain consistent through all of your basic patterns. So let's go ahead and move on to our underarm pass.
Underarm pass.
Want to show the guys footwork?
You bet. Gentlemen, your footwork. We're going to step back slightly and off the track for our 1. We're going to cross in front for 2. We're going to paddle around for 3 and 4, stepping back in the slot, and then we anchor triple step. Doing it from the same position, I'm going to step backward, slightly out of the way. My second step is going to move completely out of the way as I cross it. 3 and 4, I'm going to hook. 3, cross, 4, anchor, 5 and 6. Let me do that facing you now. I'm going to step back and slightly out of the way for 1. I step forward for 2, getting off the track, out of the way. I'm going to cross for 3 and 4. I anchor 5 and 6. Gentlemen's footwork.
Ladies, your turn. Our 1-2 is exactly the same. Forward, forward, starting with the right foot, 2 straight legs on 1, 2. On beat 3, I'm going to start turning to my left. So I'm going to step forward on beat 3. I'm going to be split weight with both heels slightly released from the floor. 3. I'm going to rotate both feet all the way around, crossing in front on and pushing back onto beat 4 for my anchor 5 and 6. So it's forward, forward, side, turning all the way around for a tight cross and back on beat 4, anchoring 5 and 6. Important to remember that if one foot is rotating, the other must be rotating. Otherwise, our feet are going to turn in different directions. Let me go ahead and demonstrate this turned away from you. I walk forward on 1, forward on 2. I start turning on 3. I let both feet turn for a tight cross and rotation is finished. Back on 4, anchor 5 and 6. One more angle. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 and 6. So let's go ahead and show you what that looks like together.
All right, gentlemen. I've had a left to right connection. I'm going to step again, backward, slightly out of the way for 1. I step forward, getting completely off the track. I'm going to flip my left hand up, pointing my fingers toward the outside. I'm going to cross my feet over here for 3 and 4. I'm right back in facing my partner and anchor step. One more time, a little bit quicker. Back 1, replace forward on 2, 3 and 4, anchor 5 and 6.
Couple of key things to remember is, gentlemen, when you're turning the lady, you're going to indicate the turn. You're not physically going to turn her, and the only indication she needs on this is, like Ronnie said, flipping that palm to face her. The lady naturally, believe it or not, will always turn in the direction your fingertips are pointing.
At least we hope.
At least we hope. There are no guarantees on that one. So guys, flip the palm to face her and allow her to execute the rotation in her own time. Don't force that arm down. The other thing is gentlemen, Ronnie's probably going to agree wholeheartedly with me right here, I don't actually follow him.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I follow my own hand. West Coast swing is not a mirrored dance, or what we call a natural opposite. When he's stepping off the track, I'm stepping straight forward. If we were dancing natural opposite, as he stepped off the track, I'd be going off the track with him. So in order to lead the lady properly, guys, you have to make sure if you want her to stay on her track, you keep her hand on her track. So don't pull the hand over with you. And ladies, don't push it over there. Lift it straight up. Ladies, turn underneath. And we finish.
And that's our underarm turn. Left side pass.
Here we go.
Left side pass. So gentlemen, what you're doing, you're moving off to a different side of the slot this time. Last time, we moved to the left to allow the right side pass. This time, we're going to move off to the right, allowing the left side pass. What I want to do is rotate my body a little bit to the left as I pull her forward for 1. I need to get out of the slot completely on 2, guiding her down. I want to step back in for 3 and step back in on 4. Anchor step. What I'm going to do is, again, step off to the right-hand side of the slot as I rotate my body, leading her down for 1. I need to get out of the way for 2, triple, 3, and guide her through for 4. I step right back in, directly in front of her, anchor as you finish your rotation, triple step. 6 count pattern, left side pass.
Ladies, this is really cool because you get a little 2-for-1 special. Your left side pass footwork is absolutely identical to your underarm pass footwork, so you already know. All that changes is the side that I'm passing him on. So let's go ahead and show you what this looks like put together. Ronnie's going to move out of the way. 1, 2, this is my side, cross, back, anchor, step. One thing that Ronnie does here is he uses his shoulder to lead me through. He's not pulling with the arm, and once he sets me in motion, he lets me go until it's time for him to stop me.
You bet. I step back and out of the way for 1. For 2, she's in motion. 3, and I step back in on 4, and anchor, step. Now, gentlemen, I didn't give you any specific foot placement here because each partner is going to dance a little bit differently. If I've got a woman who's running the slot, I better be ready to run with her, and my triple moves just a little bit more. If I'm dancing with someone who has a very short slot, I better be ready to absorb the distance or lack of distance before my anchor step. But the foot rhythm remains the same. I'm going to step back, out of the track on 1 and 2, 3 and 4 are a little bit soft in your direction depending on where your partner is. And then I hit my anchor step, again 6 count basic.
Ladies, we do want to run our track, though we don't want to make him chase us down the room. I never want to pass my partner until after 2. So some ladies get in the habit of taking really big 1, 2, and then they end up with nothing to do on 3 and 4, and I always say a bored lady gets in trouble, so let's keep her busy. So I'm going to go ahead and stay in front of him 1, 2. I can still see him. I haven't passed him yet. Now I pass him on that 3 and 4, which gives me some room to move on that triple step. Let's go ahead and move on to our side tuck. Gentlemen, this is where you get the 2-for-1 special because your footwork's exactly the same as your left side pass. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the ladies' footwork here. Ladies, we know our 1, 2, forward, forward. From here, he's going to tuck or turn our body slightly in toward him as a preparation for an outside turn or a turn to my right. So as I do that, I'm going to go ahead and triple in place and step down the track. 1, 2, triple, 3, and I step down my track on beat 4, but notice that my shoulders are at a slight angle. From here, he's going to rotate me to my right, and I'm going to dance a triple step while turning to face him. It's going to cause my right foot to cross over my left. 5 and 6. So it's forward, forward, triple tucking the shoulders into the left, 3 and 4, my shoulders are still angled. I'm going to rotate as I triple, 5 and 6. That 5 and 6 at the end, ladies, we'll refer to as a tuck ending, and you're going to be amazed at how often you use it in variations throughout West Coast Swing, so get really familiar with it. The mistake that ladies make is they hit their 4, they try to rotate all the way around and triple, and it causes them to be very back-weighted and off balance. So from your 4, go ahead and triple around. Let me show that to you from this angle. We dance 1, 2, triple, 3, and step down the track, 5 and 6. Putting it together, here we go.
Pulling her back on 1, 2, I triple, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Let's talk about that lead there, gentlemen. We're in a 2-hand hold. I want to bring her in for 1, 2, not much in the way of a lead. I'm going to separate my arms just a little bit. Take the left hand up, show her the palm of your hand for 3 and. On 4, I'm going to guide her through with my right hand, taking the left hand up and over her head. Gentlemen, don't pull this hand down until she's facing you. Let her wind down. Anchor step.
Very good. All right, let's go ahead and move into our whips. So far, we've only talked about 6 count patterns, which we've counted 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. We have 2 whips, and those are our 8 count basics. We're going to count those 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Gentlemen, your footwork is the same for both of these whips, so I'm going to have Ronnie walk you through that.
You bet. My footwork. Stepping again off and out of the way. 1, replace 2. I'm going to step for 3 and 4. Closing my feet for 5. Stepping back in for 6. Anchor 7 and 8. Again, getting back and out of the way for 1. Crossing on 2. triple for 3 and 4, finishing sideways, rotating and closing my feet on 5, stepping back in on 6, anchor 7 and 8. Let me do that forward for you one time. Backing out of the way for 1, 2, crossing 3 and 4, closing 5, 6, 7 and 8. Again, we're going to use that footwork for our next 2 whips.
All right, the one we're going to start with here is called a basket whip. And we also have a basic whip, but the basket whip is actually simpler. Ladies, our footwork, we're going to move forward and back with no rotation. 8 counts. We're going to go forward on 1, forward on 2, forward on 3, closing on and, taking a baby step back on 4. He's going to be right behind us there, so we can't step too big. I'm going to back up on 5, 6, anchor 7 and 8. Again, 1, 2, triple 3 and 4, back 5, 6, 7 and 8. Very simple. Our lead for this, gentlemen, you're going to use 2 hands. If you're starting it with 1 hand as you lead, just go ahead and offer up that right hand and she'll hopefully reach for it. You're going to lead this like an underarm pass, but don't release your right hand. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, release as you back her up, 7 and 8.
Cool. I bring her in. Gentlemen, I take that right hand down, left one up. There's 1. I replace for 2. Notice that I split the hands. Right one down to the hip, left one up in the air. For 3 and 4, splitting that slot right there. I'm going to back her up as I rotate. 5, 6, release, 7 and 8. That's our basket whip.
Our basic whip, again, same footwork for the gentlemen. Ladies, ours is a little bit different in that we're going to create a full rotation. I'm going to be stepping forward on beat 1, side on beat 2, continue rotating to my right to step back on 3, close my feet on and, forward on beat 4. I'm going to continue rotating to the right as I dance 5, back up on 6, anchor 7 and 8. Let me do that once facing you. We dance forward 1, side 2, back 3, together forward, side 5, 6, 7 and 8. So with a partner, this is what it's going to look like.
Guys, I'm stepping back and off the slot for 1, for
Catch her
2.
in closed position right here.
I place my right hand right there on her shoulder blade, send her back and forward. 3 and 4, splitting my feet. Rotating, closing on 5, 5, releasing her on 6, anchor 7 and 8.
Ladies, my 4 is a very delayed weight change. We talked about delaying weight transfers. This one's very delayed because my goal is to stay into his frame. I don't want to dance 1, 2, back together, forward, because I'll pull out of his frame and now he has no clue what to do with me. So you'll notice that I stay back into that hand, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm almost just pointing that right foot forward on beat 4, passing over it on my way to 5. 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Gentlemen, you can assist there by not pulling her forward. As I bring her in, I leave her back on 4. Then a little bit of acceleration, and we finish with an anchor. That's our basic whip.
All right, we have one more basic to cover, and it's actually what we call a starter step or a closed basic. It's a 4-count pattern that we use at the beginning of a dance to get us moving. So when you ask a lady to dance, you don't want to go, hey babe, and hand her a hand. You want to actually take her into closed dance position. Our left hand for the gentleman, right hand for the ladies is nice and relaxed, held down. I'm mostly focused on this hand that's on my back, and we're just going to dance 2 easy triple steps, starting with my right, his left. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. At this point, gentlemen, you can use any of your other basic patterns to release her. The most common is just a left side pass. 1, 2, 3 and 4.
Release.
5 and 6. There's a lot of variations of this closed basic, but at the basic level, I'd really like to see you just dancing 2 easy triple steps, almost exactly like the drill we did in the first section.
You bet.
1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then you're going to send her out wherever you need to go. From another angle, we're dancing a 1 and 2, 3 and 4. One more time from here, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. At this point, gentlemen, I'm already facing the track you want me on, so all your job is right now is get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. It's very important that you make the lady's track very clear to her right from the first step, and then she's not questioning anything. So those are your 7 basic patterns. Go through those nice and slowly, watch them a few times, apply all the technique from the first section, and we're going to be back in just a moment with some variations of these basics for you.
Good luck. Practice hard. And welcome to section number 3. We're going to start off with some patterns here. Starting off in a closed position, this is what we're going to do. Triple step, triple step. We're going to do a whip. 1, 2, lead her back, 3 and 4. Inside turn, anchor step. We're going to do a sugar push. 1, reach across, send her hand down, and an anchor step. Lead her by, lift the arm, triple step. Ask for the other hand. 1, 2, basket whip, cut her off, and an anchor step. We've got those patterns coming up right away.
Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and start with this section. First of all of the variations that we're going to show you right now relate directly to the basics that you learned in the previous section. So we're going to move a little bit quicker, and you're going to hear us making references back to basic underarm pass footwork, basic whip footwork. So we expect you to already know those concepts before moving into the section. So if you don't, rewind and practice. All right, we're going to start with a closed basic. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. From here, Ronnie's going to lead me into a basic whip through 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to do an underarm release. So on beat 4, gentlemen, you're going to lift that left hand up, flipping the palm just like you do in an underarm pass. Letting her walk under, move the right hand, please. 5, 6, 7, and 8.
One more time. Triple step, backing out of the way. 1, 2, whip, 3 and 4. As I start moving across, gentlemen, lift that left hand up, point in the other direction, walk, walk, triple step.
One key for you ladies, all the way through these variations, anytime I'm rotating, you'll notice I rotate with 2 feet on the floor. Let me explain what I mean. On this whip, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I walk through on 5. I step 6. I turn all the way around before releasing my left foot from the floor. For 7 and 8, I frequently see ladies try to swing the foot as they turn, and they basically fall over, fall off their track. Let's demonstrate this from a different angle.
Triple step, back and out of the way. Release and let her back. Hand up, guide her back in, anchor step.
From here, we're going into a variation off of a sugar push. So the lady's going to dance a 6-count pattern, staying in front of the gentleman. Guys, you're doing basic sugar push footwork. 1, 2, reaching across that hand on 2. Guys, if you can see that, I'm taking my right hand, reaching all the way over and on top. From there, I want to bring the hand through the center, causing her rotation, sending that hand straight down. Triple step, triple step. Let's back that up and try that one more time. Again, gentlemen, I take that right hand, I move it all the way over on top. I send that hand straight down. What that will do is allow the lady enough room to bring her elbow through as that hand goes into the small of her back. Ladies, make sure you keep that hand or arm in a neutral position. So let's do that one more time. 6-count pattern here. Looks like a sugar push. 1, 2, triple, 3 and 4, anchor, 5 and 6. Notice that as I finish, I'm a little bit closer to my partner than I would be in a basic sugar push because her hand is behind her back. Ladies, I allow that arm to straighten almost completely. Let's turn it from this angle so you can see what I'm doing. I walk forward. As he lowers that arm, I allow my arm to extend almost straight, though I'm not pushing it straight, so that it comfortably rolls up into the small of my back. My footwork is the same on 1, 2. It's the same on the anchor step, but I'm rotating all the way around on my 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remember, if one foot's rotating, both feet are rotating. Anchor 5 and 6.
I place my left hand on her hip to stop her from rotating or moving too early. We're now going to move into a left side pass that has a little bit of a variation to it. I'm going to bring her forward. My footwork, guys, left side pass. 1, 2, getting out of the way. I'm going to release my right hand, sliding down her arm to the wrist. I pick up that hand, causing her to turn for 3 and 4, stepping back in the slot, and anchor step. Notice that we're now finishing in a right to left hand hold, my hands on top. Let's go back and do that one more time. So we're right to right behind the back, place my left hand on her hip, get her moving, left side pass, 1, 2, release the right hand, but keep it in contact with the arm, sliding down to the wrist, slightly lift it up. Guys, don't pull too hard or too fast or you'll pull her arm behind her back. Lift it up and let her turn under. 3 and 4, back in the slot, anchor step.
Ladies, we're dancing a left side pass with an inside roll. There are many, many, many variations that you'll use of this particular step, so I want you to become very familiar with your footwork. I'm walking forward on 1, 2. There's a slight prep to my body on 2, meaning the left side's coming forward to prepare the rotation. 1, 2. I'm going to close my feet. They won't be absolutely touching, but they're pretty close together for 3 and. Ladies, I always step out of a turn forward. So I place my 4 forward and I finish my rotation before I take weight all the way to the heel for my anchor step. If I try to step backward out of a turn, more often than not, I'll hit the heel really hard. You'll notice what it did to my posturing. So this is a great practice exercise. Just this footwork by itself, walking 1, 2, turning 3, stepping forward and finishing. Do not release that left foot until you're done rotating. And now you can do a nice, clean, balanced anchor. Let's go ahead and look at this sugar push and left side pass put together. We're dancing a 1, 2, rolling 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 1, push up, 3 and 4, 5 and 6.
Now, gentlemen, we didn't walk through your footwork specifically. Keep in mind, sugar push footwork, left side pass footwork. We've just done something a little bit different with the arms.
So just so you know, these 6 and 8 count variations are really the meat and potatoes of your West Coast swing. You don't have to spend a lot of time learning these big, long amalgamations. Nice, simple variations of your basic allows you to have a nice, big repertoire without having to clog your brain with a bunch of different patterns. So guys, so far through this whole thing, your footwork has been basic. We're just changing the way the basic pattern is done.
Now we're in a right to left hand hold. What we're going to do here is a basket whip with a cutoff at the end. So I've got a right to left hand hold. I'm going to offer the left hand up for 1, 2. Remember what we talked about in an earlier section, splitting those hands. Right hand goes down to the hip, left one up and in front. Triple step, finishing on that 4. I'm going to step forward as I do a rock step, taking my right hand, releasing it, putting it right between her shoulder blades for a walk and replace and an anchor step. Let's do that one more time. We're going to talk about these hands and arms. I've got the right hand to the left hand connection, picking her up. 1, step forward on 2, around for 3 and 4, just like we did in our basic basket whip in our earlier section. Releasing the right hand, stepping forward, gentlemen, walk. Don't release your left foot completely from the floor. It's still in contact with the floor. Taking with that left hand, pulling her straight back where she came from, giving her a slight nudge with the right hand for 5, letting her dance right back into the slot for anchor step. 8 count patterns. It's a variation to the basket whip.
Let's demonstrate it from this side. We're dancing 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Ladies, I'm dancing a basic basket whip through 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I back up on beat 5. In my mind, this is still a basic. 5, this is where I feel the pressure on my back that indicates this direction change, and I go forward on 6. This is the first time, ladies, that we're doing an anchor step. We're not facing him right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross in front, and I'm going to triple, turning to face him, reestablishing my connection. So you'll notice that from that 6, if you look at where my right shoulder is, I am fairly connected to him right now. So rather than turning, allowing that shoulder forward, which will break that connection, I rotate, pulling my left side back, maintaining a nice strong connection all the way through. From another angle, ladies, we're dancing a 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, finishing in a nice clean third position. Let's go ahead and demonstrate this whole thing from the top.
All the way from the top, this is what it looks like. Our basic starter step, triple step, followed with a whip. 1, 2, left hand goes up, she dances underneath, sugar push, right hand across. 1, reach across, drop it, triple step, lead with the left, her left arm, my right arm up, triple step, and a right to left, basket. 1, 2, 3, and 4, step back, replace, triple step. Section number 3.
Let's go ahead and give it to him from one more angle.
You
Not
bet.
that I don't think you guys got it.
She's doing this for my benefit.
Absolutely. So let's go from this angle.
Triple step, triple and our whip. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Left arm up, sugar push. Right hand across, triple step, right hand up. Back, left side pass, lift the hand up, basket whip. 1, 2, 3, big 4 across, walk, walk, anchor step.
Okay, I think they got it now. So that was section 3. We're going to show you what that looks like to music. We'll be back with section 4 in a moment. Stick around.
All right, here's section 4. We're starting off with our triple basic step. We're going to do an underarm. 1, 2, release your partner and a tuck, sugar tuck. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sneak in 5 and 6. Reverse entrance to a whip. Basic release as the guy turns, changing the hand behind the back. 1, 2, go to the back of the arm. Release your partner and slide down to a left to right. And that's section number 4. Be right back. All right, from section number 2, we're going to do 2 basics here. Basic starter step, triple step, leading an underarm turn from a closed position. 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So gentlemen, we could talk about your footwork. Go back to section number 2. We're just going to talk about the hands and arms just a little bit. Triple step. Nothing new here. Step back and out of the way for 1, 2. Lead that underarm turn. Triple in. 3 and 4. Dropping that hand. And anchor step.
Gentlemen, you have one slight change from the basic in that instead of crossing in front on 2, you'll notice that Ronnie takes another step back. Because we start so close together in closed position, he does this in order to stretch my track out a little bit more and not cut me off. 2. That's the only change in this footwork. 3 and 4. 5 and 6. From here, we're going to dance a sugar tuck. Part sugar push, part tuck. Ladies, we dance our 3 and I step away from him on 4. I dance that tuck ending we showed you in section 2. for 5 and 6.
Now, gentlemen, you notice that I'm doing something a little bit different here. I'm starting with my sugar push, 1, 2, turning it into a tuck for 3, and on 4, I start to lead her, but I step toward the outside of the slot, scoot in a little bit closer. My focus right now is her right shoulder blade. I'm going to lay the back of my hand, triple step, right on that shoulder blade, and notice that I've closed the gap just a little bit. We're no longer extended, we're a little bit closer. So my primary lead hand is going to be with my right here in just a little bit.
We're going to do this facing you so you can see how Ronnie moves off the track to accommodate this hammerlock position. 1, 2, 3, he starts to move over. I stay in my track for 5 and 6. From here, we're going into a reverse whip. Ladies, it's a basic whip, but I'm turning left into closed position as opposed to right. We'll show it facing you. I'm going to step forward on 1. Ronnie's going to lift the hand on 2, keeping his right hand in contact with my body. From here, I'm going to dance forward on 3, starting to turn, close my feet on 4 and 4. Now I'm into a basic whip for 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to add a hand change there for the gentlemen, but let me go through the ladies' footwork one more time. Guys, you're dancing basic whip footwork up through beat 6. We'll get to you in just a second. Ladies, I'm dancing forward on 1, forward on 2. I'm going to dance forward, starting to turn left on 3, close my feet on and, point forward on 4, basic whip concept now. 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Cool. Gentlemen, we're going to talk about your part here. Again, right hand is to the lady's shoulder blade. I'm going to do this way so you can see it. I step back, back. I turn that hand over so that it flips. Triple step. It's now on her left shoulder blade. I lead her out. Walk, walk. This hand change behind the back. I take my right hand all the way over to the left hip. I change that hand behind the back for triple step. I'm going to do that one more angle for you so you can see it. I'm going to back Brandi up this way. We're going to step backward twice. 1, 2, she turns 3 and 4. I lead her 5, 6. Hand goes all the way behind the back. What's in my left hand goes in my right hand for triple step. Finishing off in a right to right hand hold. So gentlemen, if I just did your footwork, I'm going to step backward twice because she's close to me. 3, cross 4, close 5, step in for 6, a little bit closer because I have to do that hand change behind the back. Place the hand on the left hip, switch it, triple step, finishing in a right to right hand hold.
Ladies, because he's turning, I need to stay in a little bit closer to him on my anchor step. So guys, because of that, you're going to have to make up just a little bit of the distance to reestablish our connection. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, I'm in close. Ronnie's going to go ahead and take up the slack. Ladies, anytime the guy is turning, just don't mess him up.
No good can come of that.
No. From here, we're going to go into another whip variation. Ladies, it's another reverse whip for us, just like we did, turning left to get into the whip as opposed to right.
Starts off like an underarm turn here, guys. 1, 2, taking that hand up and over the head. I want to take my left hand out, drop it down, open up the hand. 3 and 4. On 4, I'm dropping that right hand behind my head. I'm now going to get out of the way and drop it completely, pulling on that left arm just slightly to cause her rotation. Walk, walk, triple step. Gentlemen, if I talked about footwork here for just 1 second, basic whip footwork. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. In a right to right hand hold. 1, 2, to the back of the arm. Walk, walk, triple step.
All right, ladies, we're dancing reverse whip footwork through 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Even though he has my elbow as opposed to my hand, I'm still maintaining a frame for him to work off of. Ladies, don't sag that elbow down. From 4, I'm going to start turning on 5. As he releases me, I step away from him on 6. I'm going to use a tuck ending. Refer back to section 2. This is what we're going to do. We're going to turn as we triple as opposed to turning and then tripling. This is just like the end of your basic tuck. Let's take this from a different angle. We're dancing a 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8. One more time, let's put your back to the camera. Sorry about that. 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's show you this whole section all put together.
Looks just like this. Triple step, underarm turn, triple step with the sugar tuck. 1, 2, close the distance, move to the outside, reverse entrance to a whip. 3 and 4, basic release, stay closer, change that hand behind the back. Triple step, right to right whip, reverse entrance for the lady, slide her out and anchor step. We'll be right back to demo all of that for you to music. For the last time, I'm Ronnie DiBenedetta.
And I'm Brandi Tobias, and thank you for joining us on Basics and Beyond. Be on the lookout for some future videos, and we'll hope to see you somewhere real soon. We're going to go ahead and leave you with a bit of dancing so you can see all this stuff at work.